again, please.
Only Jatu can see the question being asked, but for us we cannot see. Yeah, we cannot read the question or hear the question. We can only hear from you. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, yeah, you are right. I can read the question and then you all can hear.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine because I'm trying to work it out.
Okay, it's time now. I'm gonna start. All the audience who are watching via my page, you can leave your comment. And for those who are in the group call, can listen and ask question directly or share some ideas with the topic as well. First of all, I would like to pay respect, highly respect to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha and all senior monks in Buddhism. And let me say hello to all the audience who are watching my broadcasting live on my page. This is a new program in English to share some ideas related to or connected with our practicing in daily life. I focus on the right practicing in Buddhism. There are some but again, your mic always disturb.
Sorry.
Some people suggest me to make Dhamma talk in English so that their children who live abroad, like in Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada, or any country, can understand. Because the next generation who live in other country or outside Cambodia, they're hard to understand khmer. Yes. And on the other hand, people who are not khmer or in the world, not just for khmer, also can understand Buddhism by speaking English. And to do this, I think it's a good way to improve my speaking English as well. So it means I am practicing English with all of you, and I will appreciate for those who give me some feedback with my speaking, the way I talk, or any mistake that I will make in my Dhamma discussion or answer the question. I not only want to share the idea of Dhamma, but I also want to share some ideas for my beloved next generation, especially for those who are living in Cambodia and try to learn English. As my experience, I have studied a lot of grammar of English, and I have finished many kind of grammar book. But at last I still could not speak. I could read I could write and I could translate, but still could not speak. So I realized that our next generation in Cambodia spent long time to study English, but they still cannot speak out because of they use the wrong technique of learning. Most schools focus on only grammar, but we have to change the way to learn. Language is not for writing, it is not for translating, but language is used for communication, especially with speaking. We make communication with people by speaking. So, I come back to school or I start to study English again when I become old. I have given up English for nearly 20 years. I left school in 1998, so it's nearly 20 years. So everything gone. When I just started to study English again around 2 or 3 years ago, I could only say, how are you? What is your name? What are you doing? Something like that. I felt hopeless. I thought I could not speak English because I thought I'm getting old. Cannot feel shy to go back to school with the kids. But there is a will, there is a way. No matter what you are, no matter you clever or not, no matter how old you are, only one thing: do you want to learn? Do you want to use it? So psychological is the first power. Learning is from yourself, not from the school. Actually, we all go to school, but 70% or 80% it comes from inside. Confident, belief, commitment. No one can help you, only yourself. So I'm here to talk to you in English today. It doesn't mean that my English is perfect, but I realize that I can talk. I don't care the grammar mistake or some mistake with pronunciations, because English is not our original language. It is second or third language. So you never do it if you don't start. You cannot wait until you are perfect. Mistake is fantastic for those who want to achieve something. Being a leader, they should encourage their team to make mistake. So do I right now. I want to encourage all of you who just started to learn English, try to make mistakes as much as possible. Don't try to be perfect. Try to make mistake every day. I tell the truth. You can learn from your mistake. Now, I think I am doing some mistake with my speaking, but I like it. And I feel happy for myself that I can do it. Even I know it is not excellent. Okay, let's back to our topic today. The topic today is what is the real Buddhism? So, everybody in the group or are watching my page can share your idea with your writing, with your comment. Anybody in the group want to share your idea about what Buddhism really is? If you want to share, please tell me. I'll give microphone to you. Ông Moni Buddha Pico, are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Do you like to share some idea about the topic?
Well, I like to give some just a few words about Buddhism.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, Buddhism is a way of life. It's a way of life which leads to peace and happiness. That is my understanding. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Someone more? Okay, let me share something about the topic. You are right, Paang Monipoto. But the reason is why I choose this to be the topic tonight. Because we all, especially Cambodian, we were born to be a Buddhist. Yes, about 90% of us are known as Buddhist, or in Pali term called Buddha Sasanika, Buddha Sasanak. But before I show what Buddhism really is, I want to divide two kinds of Buddhism that we have known. One is traditional Buddhism, and then one more is the real Buddhism or the teaching of Buddha. The majority of Buddhists are practicing traditional Buddhism. They regard Buddhism as religion. They just believe. They only follow what their ancestors told. They pray. They have many wishes to get something when they pay homage to the Buddha. the celebration to get the blessing in life. But the real Buddhism is no form. It's the technique to get the real happiness. The word Buddhism become from the word Bodhi. Bodhi means the awareness or right understanding, or we can translate into the word wisdom. So, Buddhism, we can use the word wisdom. We can say it is as a synonym. Bodhi become from the word Buddha. It means awareness or see things as they are, or we can say the word wisdom. So, Buddhism is not belong to any particular nations. It is for all beings who really want to develop their own understanding. As you have known already, where was Buddha born? Buddha is not Khmer, is not Thai, is not Chinese. He also did not call himself Indian. He just called himself human. He was not belong to any nations. Even in the world, people in the world regard him as Indian or Nepal, but he himself never thought who he was as any nations. He was just a teacher for human, all human. He called himself like a doctor. So being a doctor who has the duty to treat the patients, never think about the nationality of the patients. So that's why Buddhism or the teaching of Buddha spread not just in the whole India, but in the whole world. People around the world can accept Buddhism and can call themselves Buddhist. Being a Buddhist is not a religious person. The real Buddhist, I'm not talking about a Buddhist in a traditional Buddhism. I'm talking about a Buddhist, the real Buddhist. Real Buddhism, the one who real understand about real Buddhism, they can become a real Buddhist. Real Buddhist means the one who have right understanding the way of life, the way of practice to get the real happiness in life. So Buddhism can be translated as wise or wisdom. So the one who become a Buddhist, it means they become a wise person. Do you get it? Buddhism can translate as wisdom. So a Buddhist means the one who practice Buddhism. So the one who practice Buddhism, they are called Buddhist. It means they become wise person. Mean they can use their own wisdom to see all things as they are. They not just practice something because of anyone tell. They use their own understanding. They see all things as they are by their own understanding, by their own wisdom. This is the real Buddhist. Okay. So, recently I have met many friends from different country. Let me share you one thing. Along the way back from Sydney 2 days ago, yes, I explained the driver. He is the Uber driver. He from Malaysia. Seeing my robe, my uniform, he felt a little bit strange in his mind, and then he asked me many questions. He asked me, are you a religious? Are you a monk? Yes, I'm a monk. But actually, I'm not a religious. He wondered. Because as his own experience, one who become a monk or a nun, they are called religious person. But I did not call myself religious. I am a monk, but I'm not religious. And then he had some doubt in his heart, and he started to ask me. And I explained him about the two kinds of Buddhism: traditional Buddhism and real Buddhism. I explained him that why I don't call myself a religious. Because the way I think and the way I am teaching people is not a traditional Buddhism. I am trying to teach the real Buddhism. And I compare Buddha to the doctor and the Dhamma like a medicine. Religion have the particular form. In religion, you are not allowed to ask questions. You only believe and pay respect or obey. You cannot judge this is right, this is wrong in religion. But in Buddhism, you should not believe something or practice something with doubt, with doubtful, or when you are not clear in mind. The way that you practice in real Buddhism, you have to understand first. If you don't really understand, you have to ask. You have to ask questions. Ask and ask and ask until you get the point. Don't do it if you are not clear. And then he got interesting and continued to ask me. And so please tell me, what are you doing and what you are teaching? I told him that I don't want to say that I am teaching Buddhism. I would like to say that I am trying to explain the people who really want to get real peace in life, real happiness in life. We all have different skin color, different nations, different country, different language, or different culture. But what we want is not different. We want real happiness in life. We want to get the real peace in life. And what we dislike also the same is suffering. So, if we think about the real purpose of human, we should not divide people and people into different religion. In the teaching, when you practice Buddhism or you practice the Buddha's teaching, you don't need to give up anything from your country or your family or anything that you really like. Only one thing, try to understand first. Buddha never forced anyone to do something. If you don't really like it, just give it up. No one forced you. Buddha never forced you to go to hell when you say, I don't believe you. No, he never said that. Oh, someone say it's not clear. At last he asked me, so what is the most important point in Buddhism that someone should know quickly without spend much time to learn? So what is Buddhism really is? What Buddhism really is? This is his question. The day before yesterday he asked me. That's why I take this topic to discuss tonight. And I reply that. So, in conclusion, you can say the Four Noble Truths is Buddhism. Buddhism is about Four Noble Truths. The one who really understand the Four Noble Truths and practice Four Noble Truths, it means they understand Buddhism. You don't need to call yourself a Buddhist. You don't need to change your religion, but just try to understand. And then he asked me, what are they? Yeah, I explained one by one. It takes around nearly 1 hour from the airport. The first one is suffering or unsatisfaction. Like birth is suffering, aging is suffering. Yes, me gonna be an old person. You also become an old person. It's suffering. This is what we don't like. So every person in the world have the same aging, sickness, death. We cannot get what we want. It's suffering. Associate with something that we dislike is suffering. Dissociate with something that we like, it's also suffering. Grief, pain, lamentation is suffering. So it is general thing in the world, everyone in the world. The first step, Buddha asks us try to understand it. The real problem in life, real suffering in life. and then try to understand the cause of suffering. So Buddha is like a doctor. At first, when you go to the hospital, the doctor gonna check what's problem. So at the first time, the doctor always check what's problem, what kind of sickness, what kind of disease, and then he try to find the solution or to find a medicine to treat. That's why Buddha called himself the doctor. He showed that we are all have suffering in life. And then he tried to explain the cause of suffering and try to show the real happiness in life that exists in this world and give the way or shows the way to practice. After I finished my explanation, he felt very, very happy. And he said many words to me. He said only a short time I learned a lot about Buddhism. That in the previous time he judged Buddhism as a religion and he never cared. Because I have my own religion, they have their own religion. All religion lead people to happiness. And then I said, yes, most religion have very good purpose to lead people to gain or to reach the real happiness. But let me explain you something. If you think the leader of the religion like a doctor, the doctor also have the limit, the limitation. All doctor have not same quality of treatment. For example, when you get sick, you go to the doctor. Sometimes you don't trust some doctors. Even he have good heart. He has good heart. He want to treat you. He want to cure you by his own heart. But if he doesn't have high technique of treatment, I become the one who explain the Buddha's teaching. I also have learned many religions as well. I don't want to judge something that I never learned. We cannot judge the book by its cover. So, at last, I told him that in Buddhism is not religion. It is not the center of God. It is the center of human. It is the center of human. In religion, you can make a big in number. They think of quantity more and more. But in Buddhism, never care about the quantity. Don't think about the number of person. But in real Buddhism, only care about the quality of understanding. So, in religion, people can make war easily. They fight for their group. They fight for their religion. But in Buddhism, never teach to make war because of the number. Because war make us suffering. To develop our understanding about life, make our life better. War make us get suffering, and better life make us get real happiness in life. Okay, after I finished my talk to him, he talked many things. He yeah, I look at his face, he smiled and very happy. He thought he can meet me again and learn something more. Yeah, these few days, around last week, I went to the hospital. My sister got a surgery in the hospital, and I asked a Uber to the hospital. The driver was a girl, and I also explained her, you know, the same thing like that. Simple. She's from Indonesia. You know, after I finished my explanation, she wanted to donate me $5. Oh, great! I want to donate $5. But I said, oh no, don't do that. I talk because I only want to share something that I have experienced in life. I think all people in the world like brothers and sisters. That's why I only share something that I think it is good for life. Don't do it. Please keep it. Okay, I think my explanation about Buddhism is enough. Any question? Or anyone in the group want to share any ideas? I give you the microphone. Hello? Are you all there?
Yeah.
Any idea?
Can I say something, Master, please?
Okay, please.
Yes, of course.
Yes, there's a lot of people ask me, are you Buddhist? And then I think about it and then I answer them. I am not a Buddhist, but I strongly believe and walk the path of his teaching. And then they look at me and ask to explain. But I said, I'm not renouncing myself yet, which means I'm not holding any precepts yet. So until I renounce the 10 precepts, then I can call myself Buddha. So the way I say it, am I right or is it misleading?
That's all?
Yes, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, Sokni, do you want to share anything?
No, Master, I don't have anything. I just want to listen everyone to share the idea.
Okay, very good, Sita Ho. Oh, which one? That just share. Sokni.
No, my name is Nibunim.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the question that are you a Buddhist? I think to those who really don't understand what Buddhism really is, it's not important to say Buddhist or non-Buddhist. If you reply that I am a Buddhist with no any explanation, I think it can make them misunderstand about Buddhism, because most of people in the world judge Buddhism as a religion. When they judge Buddhism as religion, it means there is the boundary of Buddhism divide into different parts of Buddhism. But To answer to those who are not a Buddhist, I think you can answer that I am a Buddhist or non-Buddhist, but the especially the good answer is the explanation, not just Buddhist or non-Buddhist. It is not important. So to explain what you are learning, what is your understanding, and what is your practicing is better than to tell them you are Buddhist or not Buddhist. This is my opinion.
So does that mean that I gave them the wrong information?
Not really wrong, but the explanation is the best.
Can I share something, Maramo?
Okay.
Well, I got the point that she was asking about can she call herself a Buddhist only after she has undertaken the 10 precepts. Well, the 10 precepts is not a must for any Buddhist. In the rites of Buddhism, to be really a Buddhist, one must take refuge in the triple gems, which mean the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. So, after having taken refuge in the triple gem, one actually may prefer to also observe the 5 precepts, which is a good principle for all Buddhists. And the 10 precept is actually is for those who have become a novice monk. We call it samanera in Pali language. So we have different kinds of precepts to be undertaken by different levels of Buddhists. So that's what I wanna say. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. That's a lot of clear information. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Forget his name again. I remind the question of a lady in Sydney that she raised up her question that how to encourage the next generation to practice Dhamma. It was a short time for answering the question. I did not answer anything to her question. My own understanding, to encourage the next generation to practice Dhamma is not by forcing them to go to the monastery or to do anything as 100 years ago, or as any country that they take their own traditions. Trying to explain what is real Buddhism. Only understanding that make people become the real Buddhist. Even some people who take Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha as their refuge, it doesn't mean that they become the real Buddhist. If they only practice or follow traditions. Now, traditions. You know, during Buddha still alive, he went from place to another to teach, to explain. All people, or most people at that time, already had their own religion, their own belief. But when they met the Buddha and listened to the explanation of Buddha, they understood clearly about what the life really is, or all things as they are. It means they see the truth in life, and then they speak out by their own understanding. My Lord, please recognize me as Obasa, the one who take Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha as my refuge. It comes from their own understanding. No one forced them to do like that, or no one lead them, say something and ask them to follow, like Imam Pante, and then we say Imam Pante like nowadays. You know, they have their own words. They spoke out from their heart. This is the real Buddhist. They regard themselves, they sacrifice themselves after they had understood the real way of practicing in life to get the real happiness through Buddha's teaching. So now we can say the one who take the triple gem to be a refuge, they call Obasa Obasika. It is just the name. It is just the name. But the real is understanding. Understanding is the most important. Even in the Mahakosala, mean wholesome mindfulness, or wholesome mind, or good activities, good action. Buddha called the consciousness, the wholesome consciousness, cooperate with wisdom, is the best kosala, is the best merit in the mind. So people who regard themselves as the real Buddhist because they understand the real Buddhism. So for me, for my own understanding, to encourage the next generation, for or those who are non-Buddhist, I think should not force them to do something, should not force them to pray, should not force them to go to the monastery or to pay homage to the Buddha with no understanding. Just explain. You know, we all have the same heart. We all have the same purpose. When they realize what is good and what is bad, what is a good way in life, we're gonna choose the good one. And we give up everything that is bad automatically, if we really understand things as they are. So try to understand little by little, or try to explain little by little. Don't force them. I never want to convince any religious to be a Buddhist. Never in my life, in my whole life. I never want to ask Christian or any religious person to be a Buddhist, I only try to explain the real way to get the real happiness in life. What you believe, what religion you are, it's not the boundary of understanding. When you understand clearly the way of life and you still follow your religion, or up to you, no problem. Because in Buddhism, the person who really understands Buddhism never create war for Buddhism. Remember, a Buddhist, being the real Buddhist, never create war to get more quantity, to get more number. But they just try to make quality in life, quality of understanding. So, understanding is things that everyone should develop in daily life. So, being Buddhist or not, no problem. No problem. You see, in our country, 90% of Cambodians are Buddhist. But see, what are they doing now? What are they doing? Are they trying to understand, or they just trying to keep traditional Buddhism? Are they trying to develop their wisdom, or are they just practicing their own custom, old-fashioned, without understanding? And what is the result? Violence, hatred, jealousy happen in our society. Some of us scared, feel afraid of our nations, our people. Why? Because in the heart there is not real Buddhism, just the name. Let me show you some example. The one who just enrolled as a soldier and never practice or never train to be a strong soldier, just enroll as a soldier. Even they just develop the quantity, the number, that kind of soldier cannot protect the country safely. But for soldiers who have well training, even not much in the number, but they are strong, they can protect the country. The same thing as the one who really like to practice Buddhism. If they understand clearly about Buddhism, they can not just practice by themselves. They also can spread, can explain, can make other people understand what Buddhism, but by understanding. If you understand nothing, you cannot tell anything to understand. Just force them to follow, oh, this good, this bad, without reason. No, the next generation need the reason. Why? Why you do like this? Why you do like that? If you cannot give a good reason, you cannot force them, especially the next generation who were born in the developed country. They need the reason. Why? This is the point. Okay, it's left only 4 minutes. Let me check some comment in the page. Socheoun, especially showing them the good example and try to give them a reasonable point of daily life of following it. Okay, thank you, Socheoun. Venerable, thank you for sharing Buddha practice. I think we are as human need this practice for our quality of life. Yes, sure. Thank you for your sharing. We need more people like you. Thank you, Wuthi Yam. Most tour guides can't explain what Buddhism is. Okay, from now we learn together. Vanida saying I'd like to pay respect to you, Master. Okay, thank you. Okay, it seems that I don't have anything to share anymore. And this is the first day for broadcasting live, only English for full 1 hour. Okay, the time is up now. I would like to say good night to all of you, and please give me some feedback with my English or the way of speaking as well, so that I can learn from my mistake. Don't hesitate to do it. Okay. I don't have any blessing to bless you, but only suggest all of you try to develop yourself.
Thank you for your Dhamma talking. Thank you, Jackie, for tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In the Dhamma tonight, and we hope that it only gets better from today onwards.
Okay.
Thank you for tonight.
See you on Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah.